Hello YouTube, welcome back to Thrust Vector Gaming, and today I have a live stream for you where I'm gonna do some quick reviews of the cars here from the latest DLC to Assetto Corsa, the Ready to Race DLC. And I'm gonna bring up a list here in a minute on the new cars, but first I want to say this is my rig right now. It's not the best. It's a Logitech G27 wheel with the 8 shifter here on the side. Very basic, but yeah, it works for me right now. Just climb to the table here. So yeah, we'll be getting some upgrades in the future, but this works for now, and it has served me very well. So the car list is gonna go up here in any second here. These are the cars that is included in the new DLC. It's the Audi R8 LMS, it's the Audi R18 e-tron quattro, the TT Cup car, the TT RS car, which is a very special car really. Talk more about that later. It's the Lotus 311, the Maserati MC12 GT1 car, the McLaren 570S, the McLaren P1 GTR, the Toyota Celica ST185 Turbo, and the Toyota TS040 Hybrid. So those are the cars that I'm going to test today, and I'm going to do it around 3 different tracks. We'll be having the Silverstone GP track. We are going to have the let's see, we're gonna go around Spa-Francorchamps and then the Highlands short track. So yeah, that's the schedule for today, so to say. I'm gonna start off with the Audi R8 around Silverstone. Is what I think of, at least. And the other cars that will go around Silverstone as well are the Audi R18, let's see here, the Lotus 311, and the Toyota TS hybrid car there. Then when I move on to Spa, there will be the Maserati, the McLarens, and yeah, that's about it. And then I go over to the Highland short track with the TT Cup car, the TT RS, and the Toyota Celica ST185 Turbo. So we're going to start off, as I said, with the R8 LMS. And during the live stream here, if you want me to go for another car and not go the list upwards and down to add a track. So if you don't want me to take the R18 as the next car, then just leave a message in the live chat, and I'll read it. So let's see here. Then we are gonna switch over to the game here. Here we have it, the R8 LMS 2016. I'm not gonna do anything with setup or anything on this car. So yeah, gonna take and see how it looks. I'm gonna take away a couple of things here actually. Hide some apps and stuff. I want the tires apps, and I want perhaps something more. No, I think I'll leave it like that, yeah. So we're gonna listen to the engine here a bit. It sounds great from the inside. I'm gonna take a look around in the cockpit as well. And yeah, seems to be very much carbon fiber all over the place here. And take a look from the outside as well, and boy, look at that car. Isn't that a beast? Gonna listen up from it from behind as well. I don't know, it sounds even greater from inside, I believe. Not very good sound from the outside. Anyway, jumping back into the car, and we're gonna take it out for a spin around Silverstone here. Oh, and I should say, if you want me to change the volume or anything, if you want the microphone to be louder, or if I should, well, lower or make the car noise higher, just tell me in the chat as well. So I'm just gonna take a small outlap here, or a slow outlap I should say. And first impression is, I don't know, it could be just that it is cold tires, so we're gonna warm them up a bit, but it feels a little bit, it slides a bit in the corners. Right now, when you get some downforce on it, feels great actually. Lots of understeer there, might be the tires. Try to work some temperature into these tires here, but yeah, see if I can get something out of it. Okay, our first hot lap here, and we're gonna see what we can get out of this car. Feels great. I should probably have taken that corner in 4th gear, but yeah. Speaking and concentrating on driving at the same time is hard. Have to tell you that I'm far from the best driver as well, so cut me some slack. But overall, now when the rear tires are starting to heat up, don't know if I can get any heat into the front tires, but we'll see. Feels kind of good. Still understeers a lot, and blame that on the tire temperature in front there. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm sure you can work it away with just a good setup, but I'm not gonna bother doing that right now. It understeers a lot. Now we're starting to get some temperature at least into the front left tire there, so we'll see if we can work all 4 tires up to temperature. It would be great to see if we could get rid of the understeer here. I mean, with warm tires, which I had during most parts of last lap, uh, you can actually get away. The understeer goes away a bit, but I have to say the car is just, it wants to understeer, but definitely something I think you can get rid of with a good setup. So I don't have track of if this is a fast lap or not. Let's see here. No, it's pretty much the same as last lap. What I can read from the display on the in the car here. Actually, a bit slower than last lap. Okay, sounds a lot better when under actual load. So just standing in the pit lane and revving the engine doesn't do much, but giving it some proper load here, and it actually sounds pretty good. So yeah, that is the Audi then, the R8 LMS, and I overall, as I said, I think it's a good car. Sounds just well, the sound is lovely and performance is good. At least here on the Silverstone track, there's some things you have to do with it to get rid of some of the understeer. But other than that, I mean, I really like it. I really like it actually. So yeah, I think we're actually gonna move on to the next car here actually, which I think would be the R18. As I said earlier, the cars that I will be driving around here at Silverstone will be the R18 now, and the Lotus 311 and the Toyota TS040 Hybrid. So I'm just gonna go those cars from top to bottom from this list. If you want me to take them in some other order, just leave a comment in the live chat. Those are the cars that will be going around Silverstone here. So I'm just gonna load up the R18 here just quick. Let's see, where is the Audi R18? R18 e-quattro or e-tron quattro around Silverstone. Like that. And the R18 is I really like this car. You'll see in just a minute what I mean. Perhaps you hear what I mean. Sounds a little funky, doesn't it? That is because this is a diesel engine in this one. I think it's just phenomenal that Audi has gone and they take in I think it's 3.7 liter V6 turbo diesel engine, which produces about, I think it's 540 horsepower or something like that. Stuck it in the back of this car, and then they've complemented it with some electrical engines in the front as well. So yeah, it's a really cool car. I'm not gonna do any special things with this one as well. I'm just gonna leave all the electronics and everything on standard, I believe. Yep. This is the car. Let's see here, don't know why all these things keep popping up, why they can't be saved. We'll leave it like this. No, actually we're gonna sorry for this. I'm gonna take that one away as well, I believe. No, leave it there. Yep. So this is the sound of a diesel engine. A turbo diesel, I should say. And it sounds mean, but on the same, I mean, at the same time, I should say, for being a diesel, it really revs high. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look around, and yeah, here's the share, and here's the share, and yeah, that's about it. You can't really see anything in there. It's a really tight space, but well, good thing is there is big windows. You have, I mean, 180 plus, I should say, view outside, and well, the A-pillars here are, of course, I should say they're pretty big, but I don't know. Other than that, the car just looks really great, aerodynamic as hell, and yeah, look at those that diffuser there. That will just suck the car to the ground. Gonna rev it a bit outside as well. Now that sounds mean. Sounds really good. Gonna jump in here and have a couple of buttons mapped here on the wheel to change the how the electric motor should deploy power. I'm gonna leave it at charging for now, so that it doesn't deploy any power at all. It will just charge the batteries until they're full, which they already are. So I will purely go around the track here the first lap or two on the diesel engine here, and then we start to fiddle around with the settings here. Yeah, the sound is it's a different sound, of course, due to that the diesel engine. During braking, you have the that noise from the I guess it's the gearbox, which is pretty much the same. As you can hear, it's pretty much the same as from the Porsche 919. That are also in this game, and which came with another DLC, one of the Porsche DLC packs. Okay, now I'm talking too much and focusing too little on driving there. But yeah, it really is stuck to the ground. Doesn't feel like you can spin with it or go too fast. It's just grips and grips and grips. And actually it feels like you're kind of high up or something, or maybe it's just because I don't see much of a hood in front of the car. I don't know, but I have a very good view out of the car. I can plan the entering of the corners very well. Yeah. Talked too soon there, didn't I? A little bit of understeer, I believe, but not as much as in the R8, and you can manage it. It's not like it wants to fight you too much. Coming up here to the start-finish line very soon again. I will switch over to one of the presets here for energy deployment, so we will go on low preserve. And I think we're instantly gonna feel a little push here, so right now I don't think, no, we're not deploying anything, but out of this corner here we will get some good pushing. Yeah, definitely accelerates much harder now. Then in the higher gears here, the preset is so that doesn't deploy any energy. So this is a preset for getting fast out of the corners, but then don't use any energy while on the long straights. Oop, went too fast. And in this preset, we're really using up all the energy that we have available during a lap, so I'm gonna try with the high preserve, but I think that will deplete it much faster. Cutting the corner a little bit too much there maybe, but yeah. Okay, now this thing's just kicking it down this straight here. Okay, yeah, we're out of energy now, so we're not out of energy, but the regulations for these cars is that you can't deploy how as much energy as you want during one lap, so you have a fixed amount of energy that you can deploy, and I've used up all that now, so now it's all about recharging the batteries. So even with energy in the batteries, I'm not allowed to use it now. I'm gonna flick it back to charging here, and then I'm gonna go for a manual stint where I use the DRS button, or DRS mapped button to manually deploy the energy here. Pushing it now, and yeah, we're just flying. Pushing it again. Releasing. Whoop, too wide there. And deploying again. Using up all of it. Yeah, so all in all here, a real fun car to drive actually. Not sure if this one is better than the 919 Porsche, but it was real fun, and the torque from that diesel engine, I mean, you were allowed to make mistakes in gear changes and stuff like that, and just so unforgiving. Um, you could do pretty much anything and it just goes and goes and goes. So cutting back here to the list of cars, we've gone through the R8 and the R18 now. Next car around this track, the Silverstone GP, is going to be the Lotus 311 car. And then we're gonna jump, or actually I'm gonna go, perhaps I should go with the Toyota right away, just to compare. Now when I've driven the R18, we could do a comparison between the Toyota and the Audi, a neck-to-neck comparison. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that actually. So we leave the Lotus for now. We're gonna take that one after the Toyota hybrid here. It's not really a super, I mean, good comparison. I don't know what year the R18 is, what model of year it is. I don't think it's. Oh, it actually is 2014, and because I see here in the game menu that the Toyota is a 2014 model as well. So actually going to be a good comparison. These two cars in between them. Just gonna take a sip of water here as well. Okay, here we have it, the Toyota Hybrid LMP car. And as with the Audi as well, I'm not gonna do anything, change anything. Just gonna leave everything as it is. So here it is, sitting idling at 2,600 revs per minute. And this is not a diesel, this is a petrol car. Revving much higher, redlining at a bit over 8,000 RPM there. Personally, I don't know. I don't think it sounds as good as the Audi, but that's of course a personal preference. Take a look around inside the car here, and yeah, it's almost as tight as in the Audi there. Don't know about the looks of these cars. This looks, I mean, these headlights, I don't know about them. Looks like small space pods, like there should be a person in here, sitting here and zooming through space. I don't know. But yeah, looks pretty much the same in the back. Big fat diffuser here. The exhaust out here. Well, and a big fat wing. Don't know which one looks the best. I think the Audi looks the best, but this one just aerodynamically it looks a lot. It looks like it's gonna go quicker, but I don't know. That's not what I'm testing here today. I'm not testing how they are performance-wise. I'm testing how they are to drive and how fun they are to drive. I don't really care about how if I do a lap in 150 or if I do a lap in 152. That doesn't matter today. Whoops, sorry, wrong button there. It's going to jump back into the car, put it in first gear, and gonna put this one in charging as well, and gonna go on a first lap around Silverstone here. And I mentioned it earlier in this video, if you think the audio levels is screwed up, if the microphone, my voice is too low or too high or anything, just tell me, leave a message in the live chat, and I'll try to fix it for you. I mean, this is the first lap, but through that last corner I felt that maybe it's a bit understeers a bit, but I don't know. We'll see when we get the tires up into temperature a bit here. Might solve that problem. Now putting it in low preserve mode here, and we're gonna see what happens. Right away it feels really fast. Whoop. Misjudged that corner. I mean, yeah, I think I went a little bit too fast there because there was still some understeer. On the other hand, the front tires were still cold. Don't know how I really should get those up to temperature. Coming around here, we actually got some. We had some energy actually left that we could deploy. So in the or that we were allowed to deploy. If you look on the dial over to the left here, now I'm just talking here and not thinking about driving. If you look on the dial over to the left where current gear is and everything, you have a, I can actually point it out, this yellow bar here is how much energy I'm allowed to deploy during one lap. So that will be refilled every lap. The green bar is how much energy I actually have in my battery pack or stored on board. Actually gonna flip it over to the high preserve. Probably gonna deplete that before the end of the lap, but just to get a feel of how the car handles and how fast we really can go with it, because this feels like a really fast car. Now this is a real fast car, and it feels a lot faster than the Audi, but it's definitely not as forgiving with the gears and everything. You need to be revving this engine to actually get some power out of it. Having the wrong gear into or out of a corner, for instance, going here through this right-hander in third gear and flooring it, doesn't really give you the power that the Audi had. So for a, what should I say, for a person who is new to this type of or new to racing overall, perhaps, and want to drive these fast cars, I should recommend the Audi. Really, it's easier to drive, but when you learn to drive fast cars, when you find the proper racing lines, which I sometimes even have, as you can see, problem finding, you can drive really fast with this Toyota here. And I was going to say I've overcooked my tires there, but it seems that they are still not in the optimal temperature range, actually. So yeah, that is the Toyota, and we are gonna jump fastly over to the next car on the list here, which is the last car I believe that we're gonna drive around the Silverstone track, and that is the Lotus 311. So kind of a different car, actually. It's not like the Toyota at all, and not the R18. I don't know if it is a direct competitor to the R8 LMS, but well, we will have to see. Actually, I'm trying to read a little bit fast about the car here, and it doesn't say anything about being a up to specs to anything like GT3 or anything. So we'll see how it performs. I think it's just a really beefed up. It's not a street car, but one of their street cars, which they've just beefed up immensely to become a pure track monster. So yeah, here it is, and that just sounds so mean. Take a quick look around the car. Got good flowing lines here, and the wing, a big fat wing on the end there. I really like how these cars, just the overall look of them. Small, really small, and I like the ones that are with an open design. This one is, I mean, completely open, whereas you have the ones which are, I mean, convertibles, proper road cars with a soft top and which you can fold down. But this is just a pure track monster. Yeah, just, oh my god. So no fancy thing in this one. We don't have any energy deployment or anything like that. It's just a pure engine in this one, and we're gonna take it around the track here. With the engine behind me, wait, I guess weight is also pretty much in the back, so what I will expect that this car will be doing is it will be prone to oversteer out of corners or into corners. The back will kick out, but actually I don't feel that as much. Bit understeer here as well. Might have to do with just, well, my driving style, but I don't know. And nope. Ooh, that was close. This is not like the other cars I've been driving today. You really have to take down the speed before going into a turn. But I mean, it's super fast, 250 kilometers per hour down the straight. And just listen to that engine. Feels like you got the downforce at least in the back. Feels like they put on that massive wing just to counteract the fact that it might be a little bit heavy towards the rear, so that it won't step out in corners. On the other hand, I don't know. As you can see, it is a bit understeering. It's understeering a bit, I should say. Especially through the fast corners when I mean, it's almost like the... Ooh, yes, a slide there. It's almost like the... what was I going to say? It's almost like the wing in the back is pushing so hard that it lifts the front and you don't get any traction at all through the high-speed corners. On the other hand, it could also just be that it's all the... I mean, mechanical grip is not that good in the front, and that's all that is. Of course, also combined with the lack of downforce, but... As you can see, I had to lift off there, or else I would have just gone straight onto the grass. So. Same thing here, I had to lift off, and now I can go on power again. I can just imagine how this one sounds in real life. It just sounds so good. It's just a beast. I'm gonna switch camera here to exterior view when we get out on the long straight. in a minute here. Okay, now we're gonna listen to this engine. So yeah, it's a proper fast car, this one, and I'm actually gonna take some time here and just see if I can adjust the downforce in the front here. Do we have the arrow tab here? Wings. Oh no, it's just a rear. There's nothing I can really do to get more grip in the front without fiddling around with other things. I don't know. Well, the anti-roll bars perhaps is something you could do something with. Camber, of course. But I thought there was an easy fix for it. Not the best one, but an easy one where I just could add some angle on in the front, and we got an even faster car. But yeah, doesn't seem like that. But yeah, overall, this is a proper fast car, and I mean, just look at it. This is something that I will definitely try to find some online servers and have some real fun races with, because well, even though it is a bit understeery, I think I can, with a couple of hours fiddling around with a couple of settings, I think I can manage to actually get it to be really fast and not be so much take away a bit of that understeer as well. So yeah, I recommend you, if you have this DLC or thinking of buying it, definitely try this car out. It's a proper fast car, as I said, and I had a blast these couple of laps here, so try that one out definitely. So yeah, that is I think everything from Silverstone. As I said in the beginning of my live stream here, I've divided up a couple of cars. I'm going to take them around 3 different tracks. So now we're going to move on to Spa-Francorchamps, and we're going to drive a couple of cars around that one. And then I'm going to finish off with going to the Highlands short track. And we're going to look at that one as well. So as I said, Spa, and the cars I will be driving around Spa is the Maserati MC12 GT1, the McLaren 570S, and the McLaren P1 GTR. If you're watching this live stream right now, just leave a comment in the live chat if you want me to start off with one car or the other. Or else I just go with the Maserati MC12 first. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water here and prepare the game. Okay, loading up Spa-Francorchamps here with the Maserati MC12 GT1 car. An old car, I think it is from the 90s or something like that. Actually gonna make a quick search on that one. The MC12 GT1 car, let's see here. No, actually it is from the early 2000s. It's 2004 to 2005. Let's see here. Was total of 50 cars. 25 produced in 2004 and 25 produced in 2000 and 25 in 2004 and 25 in 2005. So yeah, we'll take a look at it, and I'm not going to do anything with the things here. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Maybe take that traction control down to 1. I'm going to see if I have to do anything with the arrow. I hope not, but just to make it a little bit more stable. But yeah, and this is a big car. At least it looks big. Sounds good. Always a good sign. And look inside. Looks pretty awesome in the cockpit there. A big number in the middle for the gear levers, gear changing, and everything. Oh, I see. I haven't given you actually anything to see. So sorry for that. Back in the car then, and as I said, a really big car. And now we're gonna see here a big number there. The gear changer, sequential gearbox that it looks like a sequential gearbox. Animation looks a little bit funky because it looks like he's always pushing the lever, no matter if I'm changing gear upwards or downwards. So that's funny. But yeah, and I mean, it's blue, it's big, at least look big. It's long anyway, and yeah. Just look at all the details in there, and well, yeah, inside the car as well. I mean, damn. This is a good model car. Got, I mean, everything, and I mean everything. So let's see how it sounds from the back. Yeah, that sounds like a mean fucking car. Sort of a language there. So, going out on Spa-Francorchamps with this monster here. Gonna take a slow out lap here, and then we're gonna really push it to the max. And ooh, it's not stable up through a rouge at all. I don't know how the car will handle now. I got some damage through the rear there, but it doesn't feel too weird, at least. I mean, from the inside it sounds a little bit dull, I don't know. Gonna... Yeah, it sounds really great from the outside, as you can hear. From in here, I don't know. Doesn't sound as good as I thought it would. See if I get a weird kick up a rouge this time as well, or if it's gonna be more stable. Well, it throws itself from curb to curb without me doing too much with the steering wheel. I almost have to counter steer. I mean, like taking a route the wrong way, if you know what I mean. When I hit the first curb on the left side, and steering over to the right, I just get kicked over, so I have to almost steer left, right, left instead of the opposite to actually to properly ascend the rouge. But I mean, when driving it around the rest of the track, it feels stable and so I don't know, there's probably some setup you can do to cure the rouge problem, if we should call it that. Or maybe it's just that I have to take it a bit slower. I'm gonna try that this lap and see what happens if I just go a little bit slower up a rouge here. Probably putting it down in 5th gear. Woo, speaking too soon. But I mean, that was me locking up the brakes anyway, so I can't blame the car too much. I'm gonna try to go down on 5th gear here. Not hitting the curbs. Nope. That didn't work. Well, one thing then about this car, you can't touch those curbs. I don't know if there is anything I can do about it. I don't know, everything seems fine the whole lap until you come to a rouge and just totally crashes it. If I'm giving it about, I mean, if I'm racing it, maybe, what was that, 250. If I'm racing it, I guess this is millimeters, I'm not sure, but if I'm racing it 20 millimeters in all 4 corners, I don't know, maybe helps a little, maybe not, maybe ruins everything else. Well, I'll have a quick try. Well, it still slides, but I didn't crash this time. But that might have to do with just me not touching the curbs as well. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that change. It doesn't feel as responsive as it was before when it was lower, and I mean that's just how it is. It's the laws of physics, really. But we shall see when I get to Rouge here now. What happens really? Clipping the curb here, going down a gear, and still kind of slides up there. But yeah. So you can cure the problem with a setup, but I wouldn't recommend you to do it perhaps with this setup here. Maybe it should be a combination of ride height and a couple of other things, but other than that, I have to say it's I would enjoy actually having a go with this car. Kind of a GT1 race. This Maserati here, and then I think it's the 911, the Porsche 911. I think there's a GT1 car as well in the game. So have those two go kind of head to head against each other. That would be really cool actually. But overall, as I said, the Maserati, great car, fun car, also a car that I would recommend you to try or try out so far anyway. So now we have the Lotus is really one you should try out, and the Maserati. What cars do we have left here? We have the two McLarens, we have the Toyota Celica ST185 Turbo, and the two Audi TTs. So we're gonna jump into and look on the Maseratis. No, sorry, not the Maserati, the McLarens. Here at Spa, and then we move on to drive the Audi TT cars and the Toyota Celica around the Highlands short track. So I'm gonna look for the McLaren here. Let's see where it is. The 570S around Spa there. And what I have to remember now is that this is a ordinary street car, more or less. So it won't have the tires. It won't have won't have pretty much anything of what I've been used to during this live stream here. High downforce, grip, none of that will have with this car. So let's see. Here we have it, and not as loud as all the other cars, but of course you can't have it too loud when you're gonna drive down the streets. So yeah, you can understand that. Looking from the outside, I mean it's a good looking car. I mean I would probably never be able to afford one, but if someone gave one to me, I wouldn't say no. It looks good, and it sounds pretty good as well. I mean, just look at those big, wide, fat tires there, and the diffuser here. So I think it will go pretty good around the track. I mean, considering it being a street car anyway, but we'll see. Rolling out here and see what we can get out of it. He's gonna feel a little bit on the car here the first lap, and then we're gonna take it for a hot lap after that. This one, actually, I have not tested previously to this live stream at all. This is the first time I'm driving it. And yep, no brakes, or should I say no grippy tires, and no nothing really. This is a street car, and you have to brake way earlier than with the race cars. Now, probably going to second gear, and yeah, seems good. Down to second gear again. Could have probably taken it in third, but yeah. Down 2 gears. Feathering the throttle and full power. Nope, not full power. Shit. Whoopsie daisy. So coming up through the last couple of corners here, and then we're gonna go for a hot lap, and I'll probably just drive straight off the track at the first corner, La Source. But I'm gonna try to put in a hot lap and see. Probably a super bad time, but see what I get. More probably even a valid lap time. So braking about now, perhaps down into first gear, going around the La Source hairpin. And we need to slow down before the Rouge here. I reckon third gear, perhaps. No, fourth. Yeah, I think we're gonna do with fourth. Yeah, come on. Down on the Kreml straight. And brake about now, maybe. Down into third. Steering. Should I go down to second? No. Leave it in third. Ooh, these tires are so slippery. a second. Probably leaving in third there. Revving up to 8,000 RPM. Coming down. Fourth gear. Third gear. Oh, I'm gonna spin. No, come on. Ah. I mean, just listen to that tire squeal. I can't understand how the tires can be so cold when all I hear is tire squeal all the time. And I mean, come on. So what do you think we'll land on? 250 lap time? At 243. So I don't know. It's always hard to judge these street cars, or street legal cars, as I should say. They are hard to drive, slippery as hell, and not the most powerful cars, but I mean, we'll get into even less powerful cars in just a minute here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't drive them too often, these street cars. I mean, after all, this is where I see this as a racing simulator. I don't know if it is marketed as a racing simulator, but I see it as a racing simulator, and then you should drive racing cars. And this is not a racing car; it's a street car. But sure, you can take it to a track. But don't expect to get too much performance out of it. You're not gonna go as fast as a GT3 car or something like that. Okay, I'm just gonna take this home back to the pit lane or the start-finish line, and then we're gonna move on with the a bit more track-focused McLaren car, the P1 GTR. Okay, so that was the 570S. As I said, a fun car to drive, but a little bit slippery, since it is a street car and not a proper full-blown race car. Next car on the list, around Spa-Francorchamps is going to be the McLaren P1 GTR car, and that one is, on the other hand, more, should I say, track orientated. It is developed more or less for the track. So yeah, we're gonna try that one out, and if I'm not mistaken, that car is actually a it is some kind of a hybrid. I don't know if you can choose whether you want to deploy some electric power or anything, or exactly how it works, but yeah, we'll find out soon. At least I think this one has, yeah, it has race and charging, and that's the two options that you have, really. I don't know about the wing here. We're gonna take a look outside in a minute, but sounds tough. And yeah, it's a proper track car, so no stupid mufflers or anything here. It's just pure sound. Looking around inside the car here, and we have, yeah, it looks pretty great actually. Carbon fiber everywhere. And it sounds like a beast. Look at that, blue flames. Crazy, isn't it? And what's this? It's like, oh, is that cool or what? They've actually modeled in spinning fans. Now this is a high detailed model. I really like that one. Or is it just the heat that's just that it looks like? No, I actually think they have modeled in a spinning fans for the radiators there. Now that's cool stuff. And down here, I mean, just look at it. Those two big diffusers there, and blue flames just shooting out the back. Big fat wing. I mean, this just looks like a beast. So we're gonna see if it's a beast on the track as well. Oh yeah, right. It was the wing as well. I was going to see if it had. It has the little icon down here in my app that says it should be able to open and close some kind of wing here. Yeah, can actually change the direction of the wing here, so that we can lower the downforce during the start-finish line here, and I think there's another DRS zone as well around the track here. Put this one in charging for now and go out for our opening lap. Funny enough, I don't know if the game is broken or if it should be like this, but I can enable and disable the DRS at this point here, but the DRS zone isn't until now. So I don't know if that's a bug that they will fix in a later update or anything, but we just have to wait and see, really. So right off here, I have to say that it feels good. Turns in properly. Almost feels a bit that it wants to oversteer, and that's really cool, because all the other cars I've been driving today are just, they feel understeery, but they will understeer all the time. Okay, a little bit of understeer there, but I went in just too hot and had the wrong racing line, so no fuss about that. Here it's also a bit of understeer, but at the same time, as soon as you release the throttle, it almost feels like it wants to oversteer instead. Probably carrying way too much speed into the corner here. Yep. Brakes are... there's good bite in the brakes though. And we're enabling the energy deployment system here. I'm also using the... I'm gonna use the DRS as when I am allowed, like the signs around the track tells me, so I'm not gonna use it on any other places. Enabling DRS now. And ooh, shit. Brakes isn't biting as they should. Maybe it has something to do with ABS. I'm actually gonna look that one up right away. See if there is some ABS in here that yeah. I'm gonna try to turn off the ABS and see what happens. Probably just gonna plow straight off the track, but lock up the brakes and plow straight off the track. Yep, as you hear, tires squealing. We're gonna see down the main straight here now. Enabling DRS and yeah, locking up the tires, but at the same time it still feels that I got a bit more bite out of it. So perhaps not. It's just that this is a train, really. Has to be super heavy. I haven't looked up the specs, but I don't know. The car feels so nimble. It steers very lightly into corners. Not much understeer. But when it comes to braking and taking down that speed, it just don't want to get slowed down, really. Whoop. Yes, overall, I mean, this is also a great car as all the other cars. It feels very heavy during braking. It takes an immense I mean, or not an immense, but the stopping power isn't really there. You're locking up the wheels and the car just plows straight forward, and it feels weird because I mean it just goes very good through the corners, left and right. Everything is fine. But when it comes to braking, it's like a train. It just wants to plow straight forward. Very weird, but a fun car to drive, really. So that was the McLaren P1 GTR car, and if I'm not mistaken, yep, that's all the cars that I had planned for Spa-Francorchamps. So we are gonna move forward to the not so real, I should say, Highlands track. The Kunos Simulazione, or how you pronounce it, their name, their made-up track. We're gonna go around the short version, which is pretty much only the street circuit in a little loop through the town. But I think it will suit the rest of the cars that we have here now. So the cars that are left to go through from this DLC is the Audi TT Cup 2016 car, the TT RS, and the Toyota Celica ST185 Turbo. And as I mentioned before in this stream, if you want me to take these cars in any specific order, just leave a comment right now in the live chat. I have that one up so I can see what you're writing. And yeah, I think I'm gonna start with the Celica if you guys don't have anything other, or if you don't want to see one of the Audis first. A quick I can speak a little bit quickly about the Audi TT RS VLN. I read up upon that, and VLN is what I've got out of it was that VLN is some type of race event that is happening around the what should I say? The Nürburgring. The VLN is a race around the Nürburgring. So far, I got out of or that's everything I got out of the googling I did. So the TTRS is a car that they drive around the Nürburgring, but I think it's more suits the small tight tracks here. That's totally a personal preference, but I encourage you to try it out yourself. So let's see. Hello there to Sand Martin as well. You tested the MC12 GT1 and you find it slower than the Z4 GT3. Yeah, I don't know. Would be a fun thing for me to try out as well. Perhaps in the end of this, after I tested all the other cars here. I don't know. Did you try it around a specific track? Was it Spa or anything, or? But it seems a bit weird that the MC12 should be slower. I mean, I guess it has to do something with which track you're actually running the car on. Around Spa, around tracks with a lot of twists and bends and not that too many long straights, it's not. I mean, I could see that perhaps the GT3 car is faster. It's shorter, it's more nimble, um, and yeah, definitely around the Nordschleife, I would say it wouldn't surprise me if the GT3 car is faster than the MC12. I mean, the MC12 is such a long car, and yeah, It has to be something like that. It's long, it has high top speed, but the cornering grip, the downforce of the Z4 GT3, I think that outperforms the MC12, especially around tracks like, well, Nordschleife for that matter. Because it's a lot of twists and bends, and you can't really use the high speed of the MC12. You win in the long run on the nimble, light GT3 car there. But if you try it around, I mean, I don't know if there is any good cars, or not cars, but good tracks in game that you could try, where the MC12 would be faster than the Z4. But if you go online and download perhaps the Circuit de la Sarthe, the Le Mans track, it wouldn't surprise me if the MC12 is actually faster around that one than the Z4 GT3 car. It should be faster, I should say. But yeah, moving on to the Highland short track here. We're going to take a look at the Toyota Celica ST185 Turbo here. Really fun car. I've been driving it in real life, not the rally version, I believe, which is in the game here. We should see how many horsepower it is advertised to have in the game here. Yeah, 295 horsepower. No, the street version, the Celica GT4, as it is called, which is based on the ST185 chassis and everything, four-wheel driven. It has 205 horsepower, I believe, but a real fun car to drive. A friend of mine owns one, so I have got the opportunity to drive one. Real fun to just go drifting on ice or something like that. Also fun. It's a really grippy car with that four-wheel drive, I should say. So Highland short and the ST185. Yeah, here it is. Let's take a look. Looks good on the inside here. Gonna listen to the engine. Sounds like a proper rally car, really. Gonna take a look, and yeah, stripped of everything that you can really think of. It's a steering wheel, a couple of buttons, and bucket seats. No back seat for that matter. Roll cage. I mean, everything. Looks really good. Michelin tires. And a big exhaust there. That has to be, I don't know, 3.5, 4-inch tailpipe. Oh, look at that flame. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? And this one, you drive it with a stick here. So I'm gonna take it out for a spin and see if I have to change anything. I'm gonna see, we have 3, 4, 5, and we do have 6 gears, and I usually want to set up so that the car, I use all 6 gears around the track, or that I at least can use the 6th gear. So we're gonna see how the gearing is, if I should change the final drive ratio or anything. Ooh, just listen to that turbo. Whoop, missed the gear there. I mean, this just sounds like a proper rally car. Hit the wall. Okay, so I'm gonna change a couple of things here, just to see if I can get around a little bit quicker. I'm gonna go down a bit on the gearing here, like that, and I'm also gonna move the brake bias backwards a bit. So I felt that it was a little bit too much in the front there. I want the rear tires to just grip a little bit more during braking. What a power slide. So yeah, this is a real fun car to drive, especially around these tight, small tracks. I have to say, it's definitely something I recommend that you try out if you buy this DLC, which I also, for that matter, recommend you to do. Real fun cars in it. This one is one of them, the Toyota ST185 turbo car. Just, I mean, so fun to drive. So we're gonna move on here to our last two cars, which are the Audi TT Cup 2016 car and the TT RS as well. The TT RS, which is definitely not built, well, probably not the TT Cup car as well, are definitely not built for small tight tracks, but it's just that I find them, it suits them really. So I'm gonna start off with the TT Cup car, and which is the lower horsepower of them two, should I say? 310 horsepower in it, 400 I believe Newton meters of torque. It's a really flat torque curve, very forgiving car. You could pretty much put it in any gear and it will just pull. So I'm gonna get that up here as fast as possible. So here it is, the Audi car. Let's see if I can get it into frame here as well. There you have it. And gonna take a look inside here. I think it's a 4-cylinder engine. Turbocharged, of course. As I said, 300 and something, 310 horsepower, yeah, something like that. And inside it's pretty much carbon fiber as all other cars, and some switches, some buttons. This I guess has to be electric warm. Looks like windscreen fluid, but probably not when it goes back here. Well, it has to be. I mean, look at that icon. Yeah, never mind. I'm gonna take a look at the car as it is. I really like the shape of the new TT, I should say. The old generation TTs that just looks like an egg or something. I don't know. I don't like the look of those, but the new generation with this kind of look here, they actually got a small. I mean, it's not just rounded off completely. It has a small lip here, and then on this one, it's a pretty beefy wing as well. So I think this one looks good. Old TTs, not so much. I'm gonna take a see how it sounds from the outside as well. Sounds a bit rallying, really. German flag on the roof, okay. Why not? It's Audi. So hop on back in, and I'm gonna put it in first gear and take it for a spin. Probably we might need to change some gearing. I don't know. We'll see. The first front-wheel driven car, I should say, also for the for today. So I expect it to be very nimble around the corners. And as I said earlier, pretty much pulls on every gear that you throw at it. Not optimal, of course, but you have torque everywhere in the power band. Of course, I mean, the higher you rev, the more horsepower you get, but it's not like it's dead below a certain RPM. It's just that it might not be in the most optimal gear, but you're still accelerating pretty good. I'm gonna take a quick look here, see if, yeah, it's a 6-speed, and so I should go into the settings here, configuration, and oh, actually I can't change gears on this one. I wanted to change the gears so that I could get even faster acceleration, but it doesn't seem that you can do it. Aero, on the other hand, I didn't feel any problem, so I'm actually going to lower that a bit, maybe 2 degrees. Let's see what happens if we take away some angle of that rear wing. Will the back end step out, although this is a front wheel drive car, or what will happen with it? I mean, it wasn't much understeer to begin with, but when I shaved off a couple of degrees from the rear wing there, it feels even less. It feels that it wants to understeer even less. Now it feels like almost like a go-kart. It's super fast steering response. I mean, pretty much no oversteer or understeer that I can feel at all. Just goes where you are pointing the steering wheel, pointing the wheels. At first I was a little bit skeptic about this car. I mean, only 300 some horsepower. Now when I've been driving it around a small tight track with low downforce, it suddenly feels so much more fun to drive. I don't know, it just feels like 300 horsepower and this car, it wouldn't be much fun on a large track like Silverstone or anything like that. But certainly on a tight, small street circuit like this, yeah, it is a fun car to ride. And even more fun I hope to get out of the TT RS actually in a minute here, but I'm just gonna enjoy this for a couple of laps here. Seems like I'm shaving up some time as well, so Whole second actually. 1 second. More than 1 second. I'm just gonna quickly have a look and see what happens if I go all out crazy here and actually put negative degrees on the rear wing. That just seems crazy. I'm gonna try with -2 degrees just to be all out crazy here. So it actually lifts the rear end. See how fast and tight I can go around corners. Holy shit. Whoop, that was too fast. Take it back to the pits, start again. I'm gonna see if I can put on like soft tires or anything. No, it doesn't seem like that. What I am gonna do is lower the pressure here. I don't know why it's up on 30 psi or 32 psi. Okay, half a second there. Chevelle. 48.827. I think that's a great lap time actually, and a real fun car to drive. So the last car really now After this one will be its, I don't know if you could call it the big brother for the TT Cup car, but well, because there is a lot of things between this one and the oh, one thing that I actually totally forgot about, this 15 here is push to pass, so I just need to hop in and use that. It's the normal curse button that you can map to your steering wheel, or if you drive on gamepad you can map it to a specific button. And what it is for, I think it's 6 seconds or something like that, you get an extra 30 horsepower out of the engine. And during one session you can use it 15 times. So it's, I mean, kind of a tactical thing that has been added, probably to make it easier to pass people and easier to or make it more fun to watch a TT Cup race, I guess. So we're gonna try it out and use a couple of push to pass. Push that button a couple of times during one lap here. So next lap I will use it probably on all the straights if I can. I don't know if you can deploy it as many times as you want on, or if it's just one time per lap, so we'll see. Coming down the start and finish line here, and push to pass is activated. And no, it doesn't seem that I can use it again on this lap, so it's a one lap feature. You can use it one time per lap, or actually now it is white again, so I'm gonna see if I can, yeah, I can use it again. Probably not the best thing to use here on this tight track, but I don't know. So yeah, that's the push to pass anyway, which gives you, I believe it's 30 horsepower for 6 seconds. And now you can see it says 13 here. So if you have mapped keys or anything, so that you can while racing look out the side of the windows like left and right, then you could look on the opponent next to you and see how many push to pass opportunities he has left. So moving on now to our last car, if I'm not mistaken here, is the Audi TT RS, and just this particular TT RS is developed for actually racing the Nürburgring, but I'm gonna take it around the Highlands short track just because I think it's a fun car to drive around there. It has 390 horsepower, a bit more than the regular TT Cup car. It's basically a TTRS, the one you can buy in the store. I would really like to have one, but can't really afford one. That what they've done is probably tweaked it a bit, because if I'm not mistaken, there is less than 390 horsepower in the street legal TTRS. But yeah, anyway, what they've done is they've kitted it with everything to go out to race on a track. But the fun thing is the TTRS that you can buy as a road car. That one is four-wheel driven. This one is not. For some reason, or at least that's what I've heard. For some reason, they've disabled the rear axle. It's pretty much a beefed up standard TT, but with the 5-cylinder 2.5 liter engine then, of course. And well, I'm not going to change anything for starters here, but I'm going to jump in and see how it is. And it just sounds mean as hell, no doubt about that. Inside looks good, looks pretty much like, well, not exactly like, but it has some similarities to the TT Cup car. I wonder why. From the outside, it just looks great. A big fat wing in the back here, and some other cool things. I just noticed something here. This one, you got these screws here. What happens if I change the angle of the rear wing? Will those screws move? Because this one has, right now it has four empty holes above it, 4 below it. This one has 4 above it and 4 below it. If I go into the pit lane here, go to arrow and change this one, will those screws move up and down? No. Oh, that would have been so cool. I can't guess. I guess you can't have everything you wish for, right? But yeah, like the Cup car, I mean, you see full-blown, no backseat. It's a full-blown race car, roll cage, everything you can expect from a race car. So now we're gonna listen to it, how it sounds from the outside as well. I thought it would have sounded cooler, but I don't know. Right now it sounds a little bit dull. Almost sounds better when you're inside it, I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna take it out on the track here for a little spin. And what I can feel right off from start here is that the gears are way too long for this track, but especially the, I'm gonna see in next corner here, I think the, yeah, I felt it a bit there as well. Going on first gear, changing it to second, I mean, it drops so much, it drops so low in the power band that the turbo doesn't spool correctly, and you have no power at all. Also reaching 4th gear out of 6. Is yeah, this one is definitely built for Nürburgring, but I thought I should just thrash it around something with a lot of curves like the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, but a little bit shorter. I don't want you to be just sitting here watching me doing, I don't know what this one does, but 10 plus minutes perhaps around the Nürburgring. Probably not, maybe 10 plus, but 9 minutes something? I have no idea actually. So yeah, I'm gonna do some tweaking to the gearing here and perhaps something else as well. Traction control, I will take that down, ABS as well. Leave the medium tires for now, I believe, yeah. And I've actually driven this a little bit beforehand here, so I kind of have a basic setup here. First gear up one, same thing with sixth gear, and then drop the final gear ratio down as low as you can. That will give me a real good response in the car. And hopefully a real fun car to drive around this track here. We are flying. Understeers a bit there, but see if we can work some temperature into the tires here and perhaps that goes away. Nope, still understeers a bit there. Probably something you can do to the suspension to take that away, but I mean, it's a fast car. It's made for Nürburgring. Whoop, hit the wall there. Oh, come on, straighten up. Perhaps I should adjust the brake bias a bit, but I'm not gonna bother doing that right now. This is definitely a car I should recommend you to try, along with the Lotus 311, what was I going to say? The Lotus 311, the Maserati MC12, and the Toyota Celica ST185 Turbo. So yeah, a really fast car. I really like it. I will definitely drive this in a lot of online races. Good performance, light, nimble, front wheel driven. 390 horsepower monster, really. No push to pass on this one, but I mean, I don't think you need it. So real great car. And that was everything really from the latest DLC. We've gone through these cars here. I like all of them really much. And yeah, if you haven't bought the DLC, go and do it right now. You won't regret it. I think it's really cheap. Look it up on Steam. If you're a PC player, highly recommend that. I think I have a little bit time left before I have to end this stream here, so I'm gonna do. I have a mod track, Circuit Lasarte. I'm gonna take the Maserati MC12 out on that one. See what time I can clock on it and compare that to the Z4 GT3 if you are still here, San Martin. So we could make a comparison there maybe. Let's see here. Circuit de la Sarte. Where are you? And I'm gonna take the one, the older layout, I should say, without the chicanes. So that we really get the effect that I was talking about, that the Maserati is probably faster in a straight line and benefiting from open tracks with long straights, whereas the Z4 GT3 car BMW is probably faster around more tight tracks with a lot of bends, twists and bends, like the Nordschleife, for example. And things like that, sliding, making errors, is of course something that will do that your lap times are suffering. So, and I found this car much harder to drive than the BMW Z4. So if I'm doing a lot of errors like I'm doing right now, I don't know, maybe the Z4 is faster around this track as well, but yeah, we'll see. Actually, I thought it was going to be a lot quicker than 277 kilometers an hour on the straight here. And since it's such a long straight, probably the car that can keep the highest speed is the one that benefits from this. But yeah, we'll see. Coming down to the end of the straight here. I have no idea where the correct brake points are, but I think I did it pretty good. And yeah, spinning like that doesn't help when you're trying to set a fast lap. Lucky for us, we're not on a fast lap right now, so... I mean, just through these corners here, I can feel that this is where the BMW are gonna dominate. This is more or less a train. Whoop. So, starting the clock there. Doubt that I will make a clean lap with this car, but we'll see. I mean, if I'm hesitating, that's not a good thing. And I'm doing that a lot in this car. So yeah, since I'm bottoming out the hitting the rev limiter here, I don't know. It might not be just the greatest track to prove this on. I don't know what the top speed of the set for is, but if the top speed is low in this car, I think there's no chance in hell that the BMW is gonna make up the time through the corners later on here. But just for a comparison, really, when I'm hitting the brakes here at this turn, we're at roughly 2 minutes. We're at 2:58, and I'm fucking losing it. Yeah, I'm not gonna even bother. 1:58 at that point. So. Looking at the, let's see here, I'm gonna switch over fast here to the Z4 GT3 car. Around Le Mans without the chicanes. I'm just gonna make a quick thing here on the side as well. Okay, let's do this real fast here. So definitely not faster in a straight line, but it feels faster through that chicane, for example, and through here as well. It feels like it can carry a much greater speed through through the corners, the real sharp ones. So we're gonna see what type of top speed we get on this one. It was 277 in the Maserati. Seems to be about the same in this car here. Actually a bit more than that. But it pretty much stops at 290 kilometers an hour, and if you change the gearing in the Maserati, I'll bet you that it will go faster around this track than this set 4. Although this one is a lot faster in the corners, and well, me personally, I also have a lot more confidence in this car than in the Maserati. The Maserati is just all over the place, and going through here feels like I can carry much more speed through the corners. So coming through these tight sections, the only thing that the Maserati has on this one is really raw speed down that long straight, and now the gearing was wrong, so it didn't have that either. But that's a more, I should say, a little demonstration anyway, Martin, to your question there, why the MC12 was slower than this car here around the Nordschleife. And that has to do with this is a shorter car, better grip, I believe, through corners. The only thing the Maserati has is raw speed down long straights. Coming down through these sections here, and I feel so much more confident going through here. I can make small errors, I can do adjustments, and the car just swallows it. It's not like I'm in the barrier as soon as I do the slightest little mistake. So yeah, that I believe is everything for this live stream. I'm not gonna go on anything more. See if there'll be any more live streams. I hope so in the future here. I'm thinking of maybe doing a live stream where I just set up a server and you guys can join me and race. Hopefully that would be a great idea. At least I think it's a great idea. So if you're watching this later, just leave a comment on the video here if you think it's a great idea to just have a live stream and a server where we can just come together and try out different cars, different tracks and such. I think that would be great anyway. Thank you for watching anyway, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already done so. I will be releasing more material this later this week. There will be another episode of me playing Planet Base, and yeah, we'll see if there will be any more Assetto Corsa maybe next week as well. Thank you for watching anyway, and have a great day and evening to you. Bye.